What's up my friends, welcome to another video. My name is Steve. I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Amazon. So this is going to be another What's Sold video, which I know a lot of people don't like to watch them for some reason, and I don't know why. I guess if you look at the mindset of watching it as someone showing you what they sold only, you get nothing out of it. But if you go into it thinking, let me look for something I don't know and learn something from it, whether a brand, a certain type of item, or even look at when I post like the picture on the screen. Look at how I do my keywords, titles, pricing. There's always stuff to be learned no matter how much experience you have. So I'm going to give you all clothing in this one. A lot of people are afraid to sell clothing. They think it's very long tail. Now of course some is, but also some cannot be. It depends how smart you make your buys. So I'm going to put them on the screen. I'll tell you what I paid for them, where I got them, how long they took to sell, what they sold for, my approximate net profit. I'm also going to start adding into these how I packed and shipped them. Just a quick, like what type of box or packaging. So I know a lot of people are trying to learn that as well if they're new resellers. So let's get started. Oh, and a little update on my vehicle. Since everything was closed down for the quarantine stuff, and then it reopened, I got to go thrifting for one day. And on the second day I went out, my control panel in my van went bad. So I've been down for 2 weeks now. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks that it happened. I called yesterday, and the company that they sent it to, they said either tomorrow or the next day, which is now today or Friday, they should have an answer, and hoping next week I should have it. Because I got to tell you something. I've been patient, but
I'm freaking out, man.
I'm dying to get back out there. My inventory stuff is still selling, and I'm dwindling down. So I'm just over 200 now. Horrible. I got to do a lot of work to grow. So either way, with that said, that's a little update. So I know people have been asking me. Let's get going with the items that I've sold. Alright, let's start with a little accessory. Belts. I always look at the belts when I go into thrift stores. You want to look for embossed Western style. It's always a great seller. Or just look at the buckles. Even if it's a junky belt, buy it for the buckle. Remove the buckle and sell it as just that. But this was a Lucky brand. It's kind of like a patchwork type belt. Had different colors and heavy stitching. Picked it up for $1 at a local thrift store. Took about 7 months to sell. I think this was the last one I had out of a whole bunch I had bought. And sold for $17.95 plus free shipping. And I netted about $14. And for a belt, I just rolled it up and put it into a little vinyl poly bag. Next item, we're going to go in some hats. Hats, a lot of people love selling hats. They're not often good money, but you can easily make, anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks on an average hat. So this was a new tag, and I found this at a local thrift. Paid $1. It was an NBC golf hat. Took about 5 months to sell. Sold for $14.95 with $4 shipping, and I netted approximately $11. Another golf hat, Shrixon. Golf is always a good hat that's going to sell. It's all about the branding with hats, the logos, So use your common sense, I would say, but you can also comp them. Same thing, found this at the same local thrift for $1. Took about 5 months to sell. This one sold for $18.95 free shipping, which is basically the same price. I just did charge on one and free on the other. So I netted about $11 on this as well. Alright, let's check out some shirts. Here's a good brand to look out for, Volcom. This was called the Blackout Polo, kind of like a soft jersey type feel. And I found this at the Goodwill bins. So I paid probably like 50 cents for it, very lightweight. Took about 6 months to sell. Sold for $17.95 with $4 shipping, and I netted about $14. So Volcom makes a whole array of clothing. Shirts, shorts, pants, hats. So I've sold many Volcom and children's clothing as well. So always look for that brand. Next up is a very expensive brand when it's brand new, and only some of their items will have a solid resale value, mainly like in the nicer dress shirts. This was Bugatti Uomo, and this was just an Egyptian cotton golf polo, 3-button polo. But I think the downside of it was they had embroidered for like a golf course that's not a popular one, probably just a local one somewhere. And found this at the bin, so paid about 50 cents for it. took a year to sell. I've had this thing forever. This is one of the probably longest things I've had in my inventory. There's a few other ones that I got around the same time, but this took a year. Finally sold $17.95 free shipping, and I made about 10 bucks on it. Sayonara, glad to let it go. Alright, Volcom again. This is a men's faceted short, gray, kind of just like a khaki short. I found this at the Goodwill bins, so probably paid about 50 cents for it. 4 months to sell. Sold for $14.75 plus $4 shipping, and I made about $11. Oh, I forgot to say about how I pack them. So these again, fold them up, put them into a suffocation bag, and just into a vinyl poly bag. Same with the shirts, hats. I put into an 8x6x4 box inside a poly bag first, and then into a box. Never put your hats in bags. Even if it's a soft hat, no one wants a crushed hat. And people are going to say, oh, I do it all the time, and I never have problems. You know what? Eventually you're going to run into that one buyer, and you're going to have a problem. Alright, here is another Goodwill bins find called the Swing Flex short. It's like a almost like a moisture wicking, soft golf short. New with tag. So again, probably paid about 50 cents for these because it goes by weight. Took 4 months to sell. Sold for $21.75 plus $4 shipping, and I made about $17 on this. Again, clear suffocation bag, folded nicely into that, and then into a vinyl poly bag. And ships for about $4. Alright, let's go with some pants. Love selling pants. I'm always looking at the jeans. This was a pair of Guess borderline vintage with the green label, and paid $1 for these. They took 5 months to sell. Didn't sell for much at all. I finally took an offer of $16 on Poshmark. I think I had it listed for the low 20s, and I wasn't really getting any interest in them. Not many views. Someone sent an offer. I just let it go. And I made a profit of about $13 on it. And shipping out Poshmark, everything goes priority. So I just folded them up, clear suffocation bag, and then put them into a padded flat rate. Next up, a pair of tactical pants. These were new with tag. The brand was LAPG. I had never heard of it, but at the local thrift store when they did $1 off clothing sale, I had found like 4 or 5 pair of tactical pants. There was a couple of 511s and then a few other brands, and this was one of them. They're all sold off except for these. These are the last one to go. So I paid $1. Took about 6 or 7 months to sell. Sold for $17 on Poshmark. I took an offer. I think I had it listed in the 20s, and made about 13 bucks on them. So not big money, but you know, only cost $1. Next up, back to the jeans. I love selling jeans. Men's Diesel Industry Denim. This was a good brand to look for. Diesel. Paid $3 for these at a local thrift store. They took 1 month to sell, and they sold for $28.75 plus $8 shipping, and I made about $21 on these. And these again, suffocation bag, and then folded and into a padded flat rate. That's always going to be your best bet for shipping jeans, unless you want to use the cardboard, like the legal flat rate or the regular flat rate that are cardboard envelopes, and then you'll save like 50, 60, maybe 70 cents compared to the padded flat rate. Next up, Joe's Jeans. Great brand to look for as well. You can tell by the resale price, we're stepping up a little bit. So Joe's Jeans, I paid $1 at that same local thrift store when they were doing a sale. Took about 5 months to sell. Sold for $37.75 plus $8 shipping, and I netted about $31. Next up, we got a couple of jackets. This one was a Tommy Hilfiger. I call it like a golf dad jacket, and found this at a local thrift store for $3. Took about 4 months to sell. Sold for $22.75 plus $8 shipping, and I netted about $16 on it. So Tommy Hilfiger is a good brand. Not all their stuff is going to sell for great money. You know, the older stuff of course will, but just always kind of, you know, run your comps. Running comps is very important no matter what it is. I mean, you know, clothing is always more difficult because you don't have a barcode where you can just scan it and just look at it. You know, you got to put in some detail, the brand, try to figure out what it is. So you don't usually get the most accurate of who it is. The guy calling about my van. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Good news is they can fix it or they can replace it. To fix it, it costs $2,500. To just give me a brand new one, $3,000. And that'll have a warranty, and that'll be here probably tomorrow or the next day compared to another week waiting for the repair. So either way, I'm looking at about $3,000 just to get back on the road. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Just gotta sell more things. Where was I? Alright, we just did the Tommy jacket. The next one up, now some of these are from like just over a month ago that I never showed. You might have saw them on my Instagram. So I just kind of just grabbed some items that are good brands. So you probably saw this, the vintage 90s Polo Ralph Lauren jacket, the Italian flag colorway. Picked this up for $3 at a local thrift. And it took an offer of $120. I had it listed for like $190 best offer because there was no real comps on it. And after getting some low balls, I was just ignoring them, countering them, and they wouldn't come back. Finally got an offer of $120 plus $8 shipping, and netted about $98 on this. Alright, a couple of cowboy boots. Cowboy boots are always good sellers for me. Some fast, some not so much, but they usually sell for good money, and typically you can find them pretty cheap. So this is a vintage pair of Lucchese is the brand. Men's size 9. Picked these up at a local thrift store for $5. Took 6 months to sell. Now, I had put these on Instagram that someone bought them from me. I had put them up for like $120 best offer. And someone, I was getting nothing for like 5-6 months. Someone sent an offer of like $60. And I was like, well, I paid $5, $60 is a good return. And I accepted the offer. And I figured that was a great return. But then it sold, but they never paid. Case opened, and the day after the case opened, when they got the reminder email, they messaged me, said they couldn't afford it right now. Something just came up. Can they cancel? So we canceled it. I relisted it, and like a week later, I got an offer of $110. So I made 50 extra bucks on that guy not paying. So I was happy with that. So always check out the cowboy boots. Inside the cowboy boot, you'll see the brand, sometimes on the sole. And then there's usually a serial number stamped inside. That's typically what you can use to run your comp. Okay, here's another. Tony Lama is the brand, another great brand. And these were size 10.5 men's. Paid $5 for them at the same local thrift store. Again, took about roughly 6 months to sell. Sold for $62.75, $12 shipping. And I made about $50 on these. Oh, and on the last pair, the Lucchese, I profited about $87. Alright, so that's 15 items. Some good quality brands in there to look for if you don't know about them. So out of those 15 items, my total buy cost, $27.50. Total net profit after fees, after any shipping that I paid for, getting my buy cost back, I netted approximately $417. So $27.50 into $417. That's a really good return on clothing. So don't be afraid of clothing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of extra work to run a comp or to do your photography, but the packing is easier. So clothing is more work up front and less on the back end compared to some hard good items that are easier to photograph but then take more packing work. So either way, it's just something to look for. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.